Quiverful here. So today we want to talk about why we homeschool, what it looks like, our beliefs, all of that stuff. Before I even get in this video, I want to emphasize that obviously these are our personal feelings on homeschool. We don't mean to make it sound like it's negative. If you don't personally homeschool or send your kids to public school or anything like that, we love homeschooling and it's just what works for our family. We know that that doesn't work for every family. So just want to get that out of the way. This is our littlest Quiverful member. This is Harper, our little baby. She goes to bed with us because we like co-sleep kind of. And so our other children are already in bed. Okay. So a typical homeschool, like what it looks like for us, is for 5 weeks we do structured box curriculum. Right now, that's mostly Timberdoodle. For next year, it's going to include Explode the Code because my son already knows how to read. We did Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons this year. So my son is already a pretty fluent reader. Then Matthew C, we're doing Alpha this year. Primer was too easy, so we're doing Alpha, which is more like a first grade level. And then a lot of Timberdoodle again, and we're also looking at doing a co-op on 2 Fridays a month. So that's just kind of, you know, what it looks like for us. So then we do structured for 5 weeks, and then for our 6th week, every 6th week, I have planned out an interest week, and I plan that out in July before we even start schooling. And so, like, what's coming up is we're going to do plants in May. We're going to grow plants, and we're going to look at the root systems and all that. It's very light. My son is like a kinder level, and my daughter is very much top school. She does what she wants when she wants, pretty much, and I just try to keep her busy. So, I think it's really nice because it gives my kids 5 weeks of very structured, you know, learning. But then in their 6 weeks, it's very like sensory play. In my Day in the Life video, I showed some of the arts and crafts we do. We had a firehouse, sensory play bin, just all fun stuff like that. That I really think, you know, really captures this age. It goes so fast, and we have, you know, 13 years to homeschool. I don't need to, you know, push so much right now. And so I feel like that 6th week in there is for songs and movies and all sorts of fun stuff. Okay, so big, almost probably the biggest reason we homeschool is our religion. We are Christian, so our emphasis, you know, for our home is a faith-based home, and we wanted to have our children be strong in their faith, strong in the Lord, before going out into a world that isn't necessarily, you know, Christ-centered at all. And so that was a really big factor in homeschooling. We can't afford a private school. There's a very, very nice private school in our area that I would love to send my children to. I just can't afford to send the amount of children that, you know, we hope to have one day to a private school. So homeschooling was definitely the best option for us.
We also feel that the public school system is just not adequate enough to teach our children as individuals. Just feel like we can cater to our children's needs and teach them in a way that works best for them. And also just it's safer here at home. I mean, there is a lot of bullying that does happen at home. I mean, at school, sorry, in the public schools. So it's just better to have them home where they're safe, and we can, you know, grow them up to be, what's the word there?
Individual?
Yeah, like strong individuals before they go out in the world that, you know, going to try to break them down.
If you see us looking down, we wrote down all of our briefs, so we didn't forget any because it's really important. Okay, we wanted to teach our children practical skills. It is amazing how many kids get out of school and don't know how to change a tire, change oil on their car, sew a patch on a pair of jeans. And so, homeschooling, everything is practical, and what really is defined as schooling then? If we make pizza for dinner, I'm on a gluten-free diet, for instance. And so to keep costs down, we make the dough at home. And my kids put all the toppings on and all this other stuff. Those are practical life skills that will carry through their entire life and how to cook. I have siblings that can make mac and cheese. And that's it. And when we got married, all I could do was throw a box in the oven. It was really obnoxious. I wasn't really raised on home cooked meals. And so we want our children to go out into the world and, have these practical skills, know how to change a tire, know how to cook, know how to, fix the roof, or, the ceiling. We had a giant hole in our ceiling. My husband fixed it. I would love for my son to be able to do the exact same thing for his family, to keep their costs low. It is expensive to hire people, especially now. I can't even imagine later. We really wanted to focus on the skills that make our children our children. My son loves to tinker like Daddy. He's very much a tinker. My husband actually took apart a vacuum cleaner when he was very young, like 3 years old. So it's very important to us to, feed into those outlets. My son really likes to tinker. Timber Doodle focuses a lot on thinking skills and, putting stuff together and Legos and all that stuff. That's really important for us to feed into. I don't want to teach my children that because, a standardized test says that they, got a D, that they don't know anything. That's really beating them down. That's not lifting them up.
Kind of focused on this a little bit already, but the fact that we can kind of cater to teaching our children the way they need to be taught. We can really get down to each child and kind of, where they need to grow more. We can focus on those things.
Okay, a big one. Is the outside influences of a lot of children in the public school system. We just recently heard a story from my aunt that very, very inappropriate things are being said to her 10-year-old son about, sexual things. That is so obnoxious to me. At 10 years old, that is already a thing. There are girls getting pregnant in 6th grade. That is not something that we personally wanted our children exposed to. And I understand that you can't shelter your children from the outside world. You can't, keep them in your house and they'll never know the outside. And then once they go out there, they'll be, awestruck. We don't keep them from knowing those things. However, being in an environment where they're bombarded for 8 hours a day, all these negative influences, they come home for 3 hours, eat dinner, do homework, play outside. How much time do I really get to spend with them to instill strong values? Not very much. After they've just been hit all day with all of this very inappropriate behavior and, other things. And so that's a really, really big one, especially today. A lot of kids are cussing and just not being respectful of their parents, and they're very entitled. And we didn't want our children, to end up like that. I don't know how to say that. But, so yeah, those are the main reasons we homeschool. Don't want to offend anyone or say that public schooling is, bad or not the right answer or whatever. We pray a lot. At least I know I do, that I am doing right by my children and that I'm doing what God has led me to do. And I really feel a deep desire to homeschool. So I really feel God has placed that on my heart. Another thing that we hope to do in the future is mission work. And so homeschooling will make that a lot easier to do, to just pick up and go. And we already do things like volunteer in our community, give back a lot. But eventually I would like to go somewhere like Africa, where Jesus isn't a common name, that isn't something that's everywhere. And we go to a Baptist church and they really emphasize on making disciples, and that really speaks to our hearts. And so hopefully one day when our children are a little older, especially Harper right now is a little too small to be going overseas and all the vaccinations and everything that would be involved. Once our children are older, we will definitely be on the mission field. And so homeschooling also makes that so readily available to us and just a really easy thing to do. Anything else? Okay. So thank you for watching. Please hit subscribe below if you want to see more of our crazy, beautiful life. We really enjoy everything we do, and more homeschool adventures and just daily adventures with our little family. Bye!